On this edition of Lakeville City Limits, we first take a look at some of the upcoming events happening at the Lakeville Area Arts Center. Next, I talk with Mayor Matt Little about the state of the city and what's ahead in the new year. And finally, Animal Control Officer Barb Maxwell has some winter pet tips for our four-legged friends. Hello, I'm City Administrator Steve Melke. Welcome to City Limits, Lakeville's public information program. Up first on today's show, let's head out to downtown Lakeville for another edition of Arts Center Presents.
Welcome to this Lakeville Area Arts Center update. We had a very busy holiday season with over 3,500 visits during December. Our pottery students raised over $1,000 for local food banks with their Empty Bowls project. And now we're kicking off the new year with some really great performances. Our Sunday afternoon concert series begins on January 12th with an intimate afternoon at the Opera. Minnesota Opera resident artists Victoria Vargus and John Robert Lindsey will perform. The series is sponsored by Kingsley Shores Senior Community and includes complimentary caribou coffee and dessert. For the younger audience, Children's Castle Theater is presenting the stage musical version of Disney's Tarzan on weekends in January. Here to tell us more about Tarzan's appearance in Lakeville are members of the Children's Castle cast.
Hi, I'm Landon Frankie.
And I'm Claire Vietti.
We are Tarzan and Jane in Children's Castle Theater's upcoming production of Tarzan, the stage musical.
If you like the Disney film, you'll love the stage production. It has all the songs you remember, including ones you've never heard.
Unless you've seen the Broadway production.
Tarzan will open on January 17th and run the last 2 weekends in January. Here's a sneak peek from behind the scenes from our early rehearsal.
It's just like me, yet it's so different. Where did it come from? These things it's got here are oh so different. Where does it belong?
It's only natural I should be curious about you. And you about me, it seems. All this touching is most inappropriate, but interesting. Get off, get off, get off!
I've never seen its shape, it's so different. Oh, I must see more. Its skin so soft, it smells so different from all I've seen before. And yet here, we're just the same.
Jane see, Jane do.
My heart is beating faster, I must know more about her. There's something strange that draws me near her. She's nothing like I've seen before. She makes me feel so alive.
Mind your personal boundaries. Yes, that is my heart.
Heart!
Heart? Are you trying to...
Heart! Heart!
Heart.
Heart!
Yes, heart.
Yes, heart!
Oh, you do speak. And here I was merely thinking you were the strong, silent type of wild man. Oh, I see. You don't speak, do you? You don't speak at all. Well, of course not. Why would a barely covered... I mean, how could such a natural creature... Oh, get a hold of yourself, Jane Porter. One would think you've never seen such a... Well, that's because I haven't ever seen such a... Oh, where is my... If I can't speak to you, I can certainly sketch you, sir.
Tar!
Distance, please. I'm working with perspective.
Tar!
Tarzan!
Tarzan!
Tarzan. Oh, I see.
Tarzan! Oh, I see.
Oh, no. I'm Jane.
Oh, no. I'm Jane.
Oh, dear. No. My name is...
Oh, dear. No, my name is...
Stop! Tarzan. Jane.
Tarzan. Jane.
Exactly.
It's just like me, yet it's so different being this close to her. Something deep inside feels so different. Seems everything has turned. It's something so exciting, somehow also inviting. Feels so new yet so familiar. Something tells me I will never, ever be the same again.
I hope you enjoyed that sneak peek.
Tarzan runs from January 17th through the 26th.
Tickets are available at the Lakeville Area Arts Center online website, or you can call 952-985-4640.
We hope to see you at the show.
A Diamond Lives Forever is the title of Philip Bauer's Neil Diamond tribute concert on Saturday, February 1st. This event is expected to draw a huge crowd and is being held at the Lakeville South High School Theater. The event is co-sponsored by Lakeville Rotary, and proceeds go back to supporting community charities. The following weekend features an evening of art and dance on Friday, February 7th. Choreographers from Ballet, Royale, Minnesota will interpret visual artwork by local artists through music and dance. A coffee social allowing the dancers and the audience to interact will follow the performance. Grammy Award-winning Chestnut Brass Company will be featured on the second installment of the Coffee Concert Series on Sunday, February 9th. The afternoon event is titled Classy, Sassy, and Brassy, and includes the usual caribou coffee and snacks during the performance. Jason Coleman will take to the stage on Saturday, February 2015, with a tribute to his grandfather, Floyd Cramer. Jason keeps his grandfather's distinctive style alive with highlights of Floyd's music. We'll close out February with the Girl Singers of the Hit Parade's concert entitled Sirens of the 60s. Do you remember Walk On By, It's My Party, Downtown, or These Boots Are Made for Walkin'? It'll be a great night of memorable hits on Saturday, February 22nd. For information about the Art Center or to buy tickets to any of our performances, visit our website, lakevilleareaartcenter.com, or call 952-985-4640.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Joining me today is Mayor Matt Little. Mayor, thanks for joining me on City Limits.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Mayor, let's talk a little bit about your background, how you became to be a part of the City Council and ultimately the mayor.
Yeah, well, I graduated from Minnesota Morris in 2007. I had a political science degree. I was out in Washington, D.C. teaching people how to lobby and how to campaign. I moved back to Lakeville and ended up running for city council. Won my election in 2010, and then also ended up running for mayor. So, and won the election about a year ago now, a little over a year ago now.
So how have you found it being mayor? Do you enjoy it?
I love it. I don't know what else I'd be doing now that I'm mayor. I get to meet so many people. Going to the schools and talking to kids about politics and being mayor is just a great joy for me. I really love it.
I'm sure you're finding it's a very busy town.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I find myself at multiple events each week, whether speaking or just attending, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So Mayor, let's take a look back at 2013. It was a busy year. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things you think are highlights for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people, when they're driving around town, can see what's going on. There's been a lot of new development in the residential area, and so our 2014 budget reflects that. We just passed the budget on Monday, and we've made some additions. We fast-tracked a lot of our infrastructure improvements in relation to road repairs and road reconstruction because we need to catch up with maintenance. So we've done that. We've added a police investigator. We're seeing a lot more online crime, electronic crimes, and so we added an investigator to keep up with the workload there. We've also had to add to our code enforcement to free up some more time for our inspectors so that they can do inspections and make sure that houses are built on time in a quick manner. So growth has been big in Lakeville, and so we've had to keep up with that.
Well, economic development is also one of those areas that the council has focused attention, along with the Economic Development Commission. Why don't you talk about some of the initiatives there?
Absolutely. Our biggest initiative this year was having business incentives, or incentives for businesses to come to Lakeville. And we're still working out some of the criteria, but we have set up programs where we can offer incentives for businesses to move here or expand here or start up here. So there's a lot of options. So that's one piece of our economic package. The other thing that we started doing this year was an open to business program. So while our incentive packages are really geared toward bigger employers, larger employers with good paying jobs, we have an open to business program that helps small businesses that are trying to start up. And so they can get free business advice every month here right at City Hall and guidance to open a small business in Lakeville too. So we kind of have a two-tiered approach where we're looking to land those larger businesses here, but we're also providing support for local people to start up here.
Well, let's talk about the incentives for a minute. What kinds of incentives are you talking about, and when would those kinds of things be available?
Yeah, the general criteria we have right now, we're looking for businesses that offer, on average, jobs that are $14 an hour plus. So we want to make sure that if you're going to work here, that you can also live here in Lakeville. That's an important part of the tool. And so we're looking for those types of businesses that have high-paying jobs. So tech jobs, also, you have the manufacturing jobs. Many of those are in the technology industry and producing those types of products that offer the high wages. So those are just very generally, that's what we're looking to capture here in Lakeville. Now, what we can offer them varies, and it really depends on what they're bringing and where they want to move. One tool, I'll just explain one tool, which is tax abatement, which some people are familiar with, but we essentially write off some of their taxes that they would have to pay to the city for some time. So that's one tool, and there's other ways that we can make it easier for them to move here or come here.
But the ultimate goal is to improve the tax base and create more jobs in town.
Absolutely, and good paying jobs is really our focus for the incentive package. And this will provide a long-term tax base, which helps to displace taxes for everyone in our community.
And you also mentioned a little bit about our streets and our infrastructure. Talk a little bit about the council's discussion and what they're doing to improve that situation.
So for some time, Lakeville's kind of an older city, getting to be an older city, more established city. So we have roads that haven't been completely repaired for some 40, 50 years. And so these roads need to be repaired. They need to be reconstructed. So the council is trying to take advantage of the low interest rates that we have right now, as well as some of the cheaper bids. And so in this current climate, we're able to get things done cheaper. And so we think it's a good long-term investment to do a lot of these road reconstructions up front right now, and that'll save us and the taxpayers money in the long run. So that was really the council's thinking in fast-tracking some of the infrastructure improvements.
Mayor, one of the things that the council started actually at the end of 2012, but really got rolling this year, was the Envision Lakeville process. Talk a little bit about why the council felt that was important and what you hope to gain from it.
Right. The Envision Lakeville process was put into place to look at our long-term plans and the future of Lakeville, what we want to be in the future, in decades from now, not next year, not 2 years from now, but decades from now. What do we want our city to look like? And so that required a ton of work, and we were fortunate enough to have a task force of very prominent community members, people that have been here a long time, with varied perspectives, business owners, leaders in their churches, or people that are active in the arts and parks and recreation. We had a very diverse group of people sit down and assess what Lakeville looks like now and how we can utilize the resources we have and what we're good at, and move towards the future, and creating that vision. And that's why it's called Envision Lakeville, creating that vision for what we look like in 2040, and to ensure that we're still one of the premier cities in Minnesota. So the task force did an incredible amount of work, and took in a lot of data and boiled that down to some basic principles that we're starting from.
And what do you hope to do with that as you look forward? What's the council going to do, and what will the community do with this information?
Yeah, well, we're going to start with the basic principles that the task force has set up for the council and future councils. And from those basic principles, we have to start establishing actual policies, specific policies. So, for instance, one of our principles was to be efficient and to have the low taxes that we've enjoyed here. So when a council goes to budget sessions, we can work from those principles in order to make sure we're adhering to what we want to be like in the future. Because every decision we make every single year on the budget adds up. And so if we continue to make only decisions for next year or the year after, we're not going to get to 2040. So we wanted an overarching goals and objectives for future councils as well. So that's one goal. There's a whole host of specific and policies that we'll put into place to reach those goals.
Do you see the potential for impacting how the city spends its money and where it places its resources?
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder what our values are and our objectives every time we come to the table for the budget. If it's not fitting under one of our goals for 2 decades from now, then we really need to evaluate whether it's a necessity or it's just something that's more fleeting.
So Mayor, as we look out towards next year, we forecast some of the things the City Council is going to be doing. Can you highlight a few things that you think the Council will be spending some time on?
Yes, and I'll start with 2 things that we've already talked about. Number 1 is Envision Lakeville. We have to boil those big principles down into specific policies. And the second thing is the financial incentive packages that we can offer companies. We need to continue to create more specific criteria on what we're looking for and seek out opportunities for us to use those incentives on. So those are 2 big things that we need to work on continuing from the first year. One thing we've talked about doing as a specific project is getting I-35 expanded to 3 lanes through Lakeville. We've seen a higher amount of accidents in the southern part of Lakeville and traffic congestion. So that's something we're going to be working on every year. We may not get it done next year, but it's a long-term project that we need to continue to work on, and I'm looking forward to working on that. Personally, one thing I would like to see that we do is tackle senior transportation and get our heads around how we can make sure that our seniors in our community are able to get around to their medical appointments, to the grocery store, to the necessities. And that'll be one project that I want to work on in the next year.
And all indications are there's going to be continued residential growth.
Yes, everything we've seen and what's come in here, as you know, indicates that we'll continue to grow. And so keeping up with growth will be another project of the City Council, and we'll have to reevaluate our budget to ensure that we're still efficient in every department.
And the council did something a little different in 2013 as it approached the budget process and as it talked about the fiscal future of the city. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about what was different about how the council approached it in 2013 and how that'll carry forward.
Sure. One of the traditional ways that municipalities do budgets is to have a suggested budget and reduce and add from there. And so it's more of a negative. Taking away is usually the budget process that most cities and counties use. We decided this year to use an additive type budget where we started from last year's budget and we added them and subtracted from there in terms of positions and programs and capital expenses. So it's a different way of looking at it, and we felt as a council that it was more positive. Instead of saying we don't want that, it was more of we need this, and it was just a completely different way to look at it that most cities don't use, and I think it made the process more productive, more efficient, and more positive. It was a great process this year.
And from my perspective, the council was able to prioritize its spending a lot easier by looking at what do we really need to add versus what are we being asked to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just all around it was a better process. Looking forward in the budget in terms of what we're going to do this year, I would like us to focus on long-term financial security, making sure that we are ready for the next recession, because recessions happen. That's just a basic economic principle and cycle. So we need to be ready for the next time it happens by creating a reserve and making sure we're still spending our money efficiently even during the good times, and that will decrease the impact of the next recession.
Well, Mayor, it's been a pleasure to have you on City Limits. Obviously, you've been very busy in 2013 and looking forward to 2014.
Thanks, Steve. It was good to talk to you today.
Did you know that you can watch LGTV Channel 16 online? We recently upgraded our streaming service, and now you can access the channel on your computer and also on your mobile devices, such as an iPad or an iPhone. Visit the city's website and check out LGTV streaming live 24 hours a day.
Hey there, everyone! Hank the Hug reminding everyone that they should have a winter survival kit when traveling around this winter season. That kit should include items to help your vehicle get unstuck, items to keep you warm and fed should you get stranded, and a first aid kit with a flashlight for medical emergencies. Hey folks, we can't stop the winter weather, but we can make sure we're ready for it. It smells like bacon in here. Must be me sweating.
We'd like to remind residents about winter parking restrictions. There is no on-street parking allowed between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. from November 1st until April 1st. This ordinance was enacted to facilitate snow removal and enhance public safety. Violators are subject to citations, towing, and impoundment of vehicles.
And now it's time for Pet Tips with Animal Control Officer Barb Maxwell.
Hi, I'm Animal Control Officer Barb Maxwell, and I'm here today just to talk to you a little bit about some animal safety tips for wintertime. I have a lot of people say, oh, don't worry, my dog is an outside dog. It's a husky cross, and it's okay, it likes it outside. Well, there still is a law, either there's a state law and a city ordinance for outside dogs. It's okay if your dog is an outside dog, but you do have to provide it with certain things. The first thing you have to provide your outside dog with is a house, a dog house. It's got to be, windproof, weatherproof. It's supposed to be 2 inches off of the ground, and inside you need to have straw, hay, some type of bedding that's water resistant. The house doesn't have to be that big. All you want your dog to do is to go in, to be able to turn around and lay down so it can retain its body heat. The second thing you need is fresh water. You have to have an electric water dish for your dog. They do need access to fresh water at all times with this weather. And it's okay if you keep your dog in the garage, that's okay, it's windproof. You gotta have some place for them to lay, again, with the blankets or something like that, the fresh water. And then I just wanna touch on, make sure all chemicals, antifreeze, are put away out of their reach so they don't, so they can't get into that type of material. Antifreeze is a very sweet tasting liquid for a dog, and they will taste it, but it's also very poisonous for them. A lot of people have mice in the garage, mice poison, things like that. You just want to make sure your dog can't, get into that type of product. So if you have any questions concerning like a neighbor's dog or a dog you see outside, the first thing we would need is make sure you get an address for us. We'll go out and we'll check and make sure the dog is okay and that it's, not in any harm and that they have the proper housing for a dog. Unfortunately, like I say, dogs can stay outside in the wintertime, and not a lot of people like that, but it's not a law that they have to come in. They just have to provide for them while they are outside in the wintertime. So we'd be happy to take a look at anybody or any questions you have on any dogs. If your dog happens to get loose in the wintertime, we do impound the animals at Dakota Pet Hospital. So if you're missing your dog, you can always check with Dakota Pet Hospital or the police department to see if we have your dog first. The new city licenses are out, so you should purchase a city license for your dog. That is part of the law. If you have a license on your dog, we would bring the dog back to you happily. If you don't have a license on them, then they will be impounded at our facility. So make sure you pick up your city licenses. Okay, and finally, I'd like to wrap up with giving you a little information on our upcoming rabies clinic. Usually the rabies clinic is held in March, so you can come and get a discounted rabies vaccination for your dog and your cat. But watch the city website for times and dates that the rabies clinic will appear. So if you have any questions on anything we've talked about today, you can certainly give me a call at 952-985-2892, or if you have an animal control question or concern and you'd like an officer to stop out, don't hesitate to call 911. They want you to call that number for any kind of officer response now. It's not just for an emergency anymore.
Now it's time for the answer to today's trivia question, which is, how many outdoor ice rinks are located in the city? If you guessed D, 16 rinks, you would be correct. Outdoor ice rinks are now open and available for residents to use. Some hockey rinks have times that are reserved for organized hockey and are not available to the general public. Rinks are open every day of the week, and hours of operation are available on the city website. Here is a look at some of the upcoming public meetings that you can attend at City Hall. The City Council will be meeting on Monday, January 6th at 7 p.m. The Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee will be meeting on Wednesday, January 8th at 6 p.m. The Planning Commission will hold its meeting on Thursday, January 9th at 6 p.m. And the Finance Committee, which meets at the Water Treatment Facility, will be meeting on Thursday, January 9th at 7 p.m. For more information on government meetings and the roles of our boards and commissions, visit the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. That's it for this edition of Lakeville City Limits. Thanks for watching. If you experience a problem with your cable TV service here in Lakeville, you should first contact Charter Communications at 1-800-581-0081. If you do not receive a satisfactory response, you can call the city at 985-4407 and we will assist you in resolving your problem. And just a reminder, you can see all of our programming online on the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Thanks again for watching this program and all of the programming here on LG TV.